promised in previous lesson, we have one extra lesson that will show you how to fix all these spare ends that we have once we finish the motif. As you can see, I've got almost all the motifs that I use for my dress here, except of one. I haven't started that yet. That's the leaf for the French marigold. I'll just show you how to fix once we're done with others. Okay, so we'll start just as we go with the first, the botany. We have two ends, one that goes from inside. You can actually clip it off because we don't need it now. We needed it to serve as a padding cord while we made crocheted the flower. So carefully trim it. Okay, the spare end. I use the tapestry needle with a round point end. It's got a wide ear, so you can fit. Just 1 second. Reinsert. Okay, so we've got the flower. And if you look from the back of the motif, you can see how the stitches are going here. So we need to weave in the needle between the threads so it doesn't stick out. Something like this. You can see from front and from the back. Pull the thread. Don't put too tight, and don't keep it loose, so that the edge of the flower is not disturbed. And now you see this little rib that we have left from the padding cord and the chain. We carefully slide in, insert the needle through this ring. I usually use the size 24 needle, but here I have 22, so it's quite thick. And again, you have to place the needle inside this ring, so it doesn't needle. So the needle doesn't look out on the front. And the last stitch. That's it. Thread is secured inside the botany. We can cut the extra thread. Okay. Now the violet. I call it violet, but actually in my dress it is the oxalele flower, because it goes with the shamrock. So when you place it like this, you got the perfect oxalele bush. To get it properly. Okay, got it. Again, here I prefer to leave the beginning thread for a while Again, we go through the back side of the stitch and we weave in till we get to the bottom, to the first row. Now again we go through the initial ring that we worked with double crochet. For this flower you actually need a thinner needle, smaller size. This one's a bit difficult. So we go through each stitch. Doesn't look out on the front. Just left. The ring here is very tight, so you might want cut the thread here. I usually prefer to finish it and lead it to the start of the and cut off both ends together at the same time. That's the second flower. Okay, this one. You can remove this end. We'll leave the finish at the Again, what we have to do is weave in. In this type of flowers, the process of fixing the ends, the spare ends, is a bit different. Again, we got the base of the petal here, and we push the needle through 1.5 petal. Make sure it doesn't come out on the right side. You can see I did a mistake. So I have to, let me show you. This is what happens if your needle is get caught on the front side. And start it over. Cut it through. Again, it comes out on the face. Make sure that your needle stays in the back side of the flower. Okay, now we got it right. Nothing on front. Pull it. Don't pull it too tight. Just let it free so it doesn't make any loops and it doesn't tighten the work. Now if you look at over here, we have threads from stitches. So we just left from this space. We skip one thread, pick it up, make a stitch, and we go backwards. Again, making sure that the needle stays on the back side. So this flower is also fixed. Well, this is generally the procedure for other flowers. Right in here, you pull the thread through the second row of petals. Again, you do one petal and a half. Pick one extra thread and go back. You need to pick up this thread so when you pull the thread backwards, it remains inside the motif and is not pulled back. Right needle. Insert the needle between stitches, weave in to the base of the row of the petal, slide the needle through the bottom stitches. It's a bit tricky to do it looking through the camera. Right, this one is done. That's generally it. And you pull the thread. Again, you got the space between the threads where our spare end comes out. You pick up one stitch, one thread, and get the needle through. That's it. Once you steam iron and then later wash the flower in a dress, thread will be sealed, it won't come off. Okay. Same thing with the shamrock. This camera doesn't like the macro mode, so it prefers to tune in to something in the background. Again, what we have here is weave in. Since we placed the initial thread in this leaf of the shamrock, we go in the opposite direction and start with the weaving into the left side of the motif to the top. find the next thread, secure the spare end. Okay, the shamrock is ready. So there are 3 more motifs. We'll be using the flowers of June's dress, and that's the Rudbeckia leaf. This one's a bit tricky. If you look at the motif, you got the front side. There you can see the pleat on the face. You got this little rib on the back. So you insert the needle inside the row. And then just to make sure that your needle doesn't come on the right side. That was a seagull. So we've done about 2/3 of an inch of the thread. Now turn backward, turn it upside down. Again, this is our thread comes out. Pick up the next one and pull the needle back to the edge of the leaf. Okay. Trim the end and this one. When you cut the thread, make sure you don't cut the motif itself. So that's the Rudbeckia flower. And the last motif that I have left is the marigold, French marigold. But anyways, just the same as we did the Rudbeckia flower, with just one exception. We finished the row in the middle of the motif. Now let me find, well, that's it. If you look closely, you can see how the thread is secured inside. That's actually the end that I just cut off. So again, you just weave in, stitch through the edge of the leaf from 2/3 to 1 inch. It depends on how tight you work with your motifs. So if you work too tight, you might leave just 1/2 inch. If your work is a bit loose, you might want to make 1 inch of pulling the thread. You can grab a thread and pull it back. Okay, so there's one small announcement I want to make. By the time you finish this dress, well, even now while we're working, I've already used 4 skeins of yarn, and we have these little tubes left, which you just might want to keep them, because I have another YouTube channel where we work on other different crafts like temari, crafting with kids, weaving, carpet weaving and all this stuff. So if you look down at the description, there will be a link to the YouTube channel and the website, so you might as well subscribe and see what we can do with these bobbins. Okay, so stay tuned. The next lesson is Tuesday as usual. Okay, so now I have to fix the end of the thread. I use the embroidery and tapestry needle size 22. It's quite thick to get the thread in. So thread in the needle, and from the back we weave in the spare end. Now the only thing we have to do is to get into the stitch that right below where we got our thread, and pull it through all the stitches, including the chain. Just make sure that your needle doesn't come out here. So just keep it close to the surface on the rear side. It's okay if it keeps sticking out on the right side. So we've done that. I usually make about 2 centimeters or about 1 inch. So this side is secured. Now we have to, if you look closely, there's a thread that we actually came out with, and another thread that makes this double crochet stitch. So we pick up this thread. It will act as an anchor. So once we pull the thread backwards, it doesn't go with the rest of the thread. Now this side is secured, and we go backwards. Again, make sure that your needle doesn't come on the right side of the flower. That's it. So now the thread is secured. You cannot see it from the face side. You cannot see it on the right side, on the wrong side. Just keep the, and using the thread cutter, cut it as close to as possible to the motif. But don't, make sure you don't cut the thread that makes. It's already made the flower. So you see. Right. So the flower is ready to use. See you next week.